A miracle from God is about to happen in your life. You do not have to seek it from the outside. You do not have to beg for it, chase it, or even understand how it will come. The miracle is already prepared. It is already finished. All that is required now is your inner agreement, your conscious assumption of the miracle's presence. Your present circumstances may appear barren. Your outer world may seem unchanged, and your senses may argue against this truth. But do not trust the senses. They belong to the realm of the past. What your eyes see, what your ears hear, what your body feels, these are only reflections of what you have previously assumed to be true. But the moment you assume something new in consciousness, the world begins to shift, though quietly, invisibly, and often imperceptibly at first. You are not waiting on God. God is waiting on you to awaken, to accept, to embody. The miracle is not coming to you. It is emerging through you. You are the doorway through which it enters the world. Right now, in this very moment, you have the power to align with it. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, this is the appointed hour. This is the divine moment. Take your attention away from the problem and place it fully on the answer. Let your mind dwell, not on what is wrong, but on what is already right within you. What you focus on becomes flesh. What you assume with feeling, you invite into your experience. Do not concern yourself with how the miracle will happen. The how is not your responsibility. The how belongs to the higher wisdom within you. The same infinite intelligence that formed the stars, that opened the Red Sea, that raises the sun every morning without fail. That intelligence knows no limits. That presence within you is the miracle worker. Your only job is to believe, to walk by faith and not by sight, to assume the thing you desire as if it were already so. Feel it real. Feel it now. If healing is your desire, then feel the vitality of being whole. Walk in the consciousness of perfect health. Do not wait for a report, a test, or a sign. Let your inner world testify first, and the outer will follow. If your desire is provision, then dwell not in the feeling of lack. Dwell instead in the knowing that all your needs are met, and more. Live from the end. Speak as if the miracle has already come, for in truth it has. Your imagination is not fantasy. It is the creative power of God operating in you. What you imagine with conviction becomes your reality. You do not need to force anything to happen. You need only to see it within, feel it as done, and give thanks for it with a heart full of expectation. And this expectation must be holy. It must not be mingled with doubt or fear. Do not say one thing with your lips and another with your inner conversations. Be single-minded. Let your thoughts, your words, your feelings all align with the miracle that is unfolding. Though nothing may yet appear to change in the outer world, trust the seed has been planted. The roots are growing in the unseen. The harvest will come. Keep watering the seed with gratitude. Keep walking in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Keep reminding yourself, it is already done. The doors are opening. The chains are breaking. The answer is on the way, and in truth it is already here. Do not measure the timing. Do not panic if it seems delayed. Time is only the bridge between what is invisible and what will be visible. The moment you assumed the miracle to be real, it began. That moment of faith was the conception. Every detail is unfolding behind the scenes with divine precision. Hold your mind in the state of the answered prayer. Speak only from that place. Let your inner speech declare the truth of it over and over again. Say within yourself, it is already mine. It is already done. I walk in the blessing. I dwell in the miracle. God in me has already performed it. Your inner world is sacred ground. Guard it fiercely. Do not allow doubt, fear, or appearances to pull you away from what you have claimed. What you accept within yourself becomes law in your world. You have claimed a miracle. Now live as though it is already your reality. Let that be your law. There is no force, no opposition, no delay that can stand in the way of divine fulfillment. What has been decreed in spirit shall manifest in form. No man, no condition, no system has the authority to override what has been established in faith. You have already been chosen for this miracle. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. The very fact that you can feel its nearness in your spirit is the sign that it is yours. That desire is not empty. It is the echo of what is already yours in the divine realm. And as you assume it, as you rest in it, as you celebrate it, it comes. Be still. Do not strive. Do not worry. Rest in the knowing. The wind may blow, the storm may rise, but none of it can shake what has already been established within you. The miracle is here. The evidence will follow. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are not waiting on chance. You are a divine being, and the power that created heaven and earth is at work within you now. That power is forming the miracle, shaping the outcome, orchestrating every detail for your good. The time of struggle is ending. The time of breakthrough is here. The miracle you have longed for, prayed for, cried for, is now taking form. Not by force, not by might, but by the Spirit within you. Trust it, rest in it, declare it, live from it. What you decree within yourself becomes the law of your reality. You are not pleading with a distant deity. You are awakening to the truth that the living God resides in you, moves through you, breathes through your consciousness, and speaks through your imagination. That sacred presence does not need to be convinced. It simply needs to be acknowledged. And once it is, it begins to move swiftly on your behalf. You may have waited long. You may have walked through seasons of confusion, silence, and delay. But all of it has been preparation. Nothing was wasted. Not one tear. Not one lonely night. Not one prayer that seemed to go unanswered. In truth, every moment was building you for this moment, for this miracle, for this unveiling of glory through your life. Do not judge the miracle by what you see with your eyes. The real shift always begins invisibly. It begins in the quiet corridors of your soul, where you choose to believe even when there is no evidence, where you choose to rejoice even when nothing yet appears to be changing, where you say, I know it is done, even while the outer world looks the same. This is the walk of spiritual maturity, to see without seeing, to know without proof, to believe without needing signs. You are not moved by circumstances, you are moved by truth. And the truth is, you have already received what you have asked for. The delivery is certain, for you aligned yourself with the finished work the moment you assumed it to be yours. You are no longer a beggar. You are a creator. You are not at the mercy of your environment. Your environment is at the mercy of your inner state. You do not need to hustle or manipulate or prove yourself worthy. You are already worthy, for you are the beloved of God. The divine miracle is your inheritance, and you receive it not by effort, but by belief. You may not know exactly when or how it will unfold, but that does not concern you. The miracle is not waiting on time. It is waiting on alignment. It is waiting on you to fully step into the feeling of having already received. That is the secret. That is the gateway. That is the power. Think of it now not as something you hope for, but something that is not something you chase, but something you dwell in. Let it become real in your inner conversations. Let it saturate your inner atmosphere. Let the joy of it rise up within you until you can no longer distinguish between desire and possession. Because in truth they are the same. The moment you desire a thing, it is yours. The desire is the evidence of what already exists in spirit. The world around you may not understand this. They may say you are unrealistic, foolish, or even delusional. Let them say what they will. You know the truth. You know the law. You know that every miracle begins in the invisible and becomes visible through unwavering faith. So walk in that faith. Let it carry you beyond appearances. Let it lead you through uncertainty into divine certainty. You have prayed, you have believed, and now you are stepping into the fulfillment. Do not revisit the pain of the past. Do not rehash the limitations. Do not tell old stories that keep you tethered to lack and fear. You are not the same person who cried out for help in the midnight hour. You are the one who has received. You are the one who has awakened. You are the one who has touched the hem of divine power and felt virtue flow. So speak now with new authority. Let your inner voice declare, I am healed. I am provided for. I am restored. I am walking in miracles. Let that be your meditation. Let that be your song. Let that be the vibration that goes before you and makes the crooked places straight. Even now, something is shifting. Even now, the pieces are falling into place. Even now, doors you could not open with human effort are opening of their own accord. Even now, hearts are turning in your favor. Documents are being signed. Opportunities are being released. Healing is manifesting in your body. Peace is overtaking your mind. Provision is appearing on your path. But more than all these things, your identity is changing. You are no longer the seeker. You are the knower. You are no longer asking, you are embodying, and as you embody this miracle, the world must yield. It cannot resist the one who knows who they are. Creation itself is obedient to the consciousness that speaks from faith. Let your life become a demonstration of what it means to live in divine alignment. Let your atmosphere become so saturated with the feeling of answered prayer that doubt has no place to live. Let the people around you look and wonder, how did this happen? How did it come so fast? And you will smile and say, it came when I stopped waiting and started believing. It came when I stopped begging and started assuming. It came when I said yes to the God within. The God within is not limited. The God within does not need conditions to be perfect. The God within does not need the approval of others or the cooperation of circumstances. The God within creates from the unseen by the word of power, through the authority of belief that God is alive in you now. And that is why your miracle is not far off. It is not next year, it is not someday, it is now. Every breath you take in the awareness of that truth multiplies its power. Every moment you choose to dwell in the end result, rather than the process, hastens the unfolding. Your miracle is magnetic. It is drawn to your unwavering knowing. It responds to your joy, to your certainty, to your celebration of what already is. So celebrate now, praise now, live now as the one who already holds the promise. Speak now as the one who has already crossed into the land of abundance. Walk now as the one who carries the mark of divine favor. Let nothing pull you back into the illusion of lack, separation, or delay. So the truth is, the miracle was never outside of you. It was always waiting to be recognized. It was always encoded within your desire, ready to spring forth the moment you said, I accept, I believe, I receive. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are perfectly positioned for divine fulfillment. Every step, even the ones that seemed to lead nowhere, were necessary. Every detour, every delay, every disappointment, it all brought you to this sacred point of alignment, where you finally realized that the power to receive was always in your hands. You need no other sign. You need no more confirmations. Your feeling is your sign. Your peace is your proof. Your inner conviction is the evidence that the miracle is now taking root and will soon be seen by all. So be bold in your belief. Be fearless in your faith. Be relentless in your inner seeing. Let no thought take root in you that contradicts what God has spoken in your heart. Guard your mind like a sacred temple. Tend to your thoughts like holy ground. Let every imagination exalt the truth that the miracle is done. For as surely as you walk in this consciousness, so surely shall it be made flesh. The world may call it sudden. They may call it unexpected. But you will know the truth. You will know that it was the natural outcome of your inner decision. So hold the vision, fan the flame. Keep your inner eyes fixed on the fulfilled promise. And as you do, you will see it. You will touch it. You will live it. The miracle is no longer a far-off dream. It is your current reality vibrating in the unseen, preparing to take form. Say yes to it. Dwell in it, live from it, and watch what God does through you. There is a holy stillness that surrounds you when you know something deep in your spirit is about to shift. Not an anxious stillness, not the silence of despair, but the stillness that comes when your soul knows that what you waited for, prayed for, cried out for, has already been accomplished in the realm of spirit. And now it's only a matter of divine timing, catching up to your inner knowing. That's the space you're in right now. You've entered the vibration of the miracle. And even though your outer world might still try to tempt you with appearances, bills on the table, silence from the one you love, the ache that still whispers through your body, don't be fooled. These are only shadows from yesterday. They do not hold the power they once had. Because now you are awake. You have stepped out of the old self, the one who doubted, the one who waited in fear, the one who looked at lack and said, this must be the truth. That self has dissolved. That self has no more power here. For you are now walking as the new man, the new woman, the one who sees with the eye of faith, who feels with the heart of spirit, who speaks as one with God. Do not go back. Do not rehearse the old stories. They are no longer yours. Let them pass away like smoke from a fire, long extinguished. Because your new life is not built on stories of pain. It is built on truth, on power, on love. It is built on the unshakable awareness that God in you is doing a mighty thing. And this mighty thing, it won't look like what you thought. It won't come through the channels you once depended on. No, this miracle will be marked by wonder. It will bypass natural logic. It will silence every voice that said it was impossible. It will stand as a testimony that the Spirit answers to faith, not facts. The truth is, your miracle has already started. The shift has already begun. In realms you cannot yet see, the divine intelligence is working, moving, rearranging, aligning, elevating. It may not make sense to your rational mind. That's because the miracle isn't for your logic. It's for your spirit. And your spirit already understands. So trust the inner feeling. Trust the lightness that comes when you stop trying to control every detail. Trust the warmth that rises in you when you imagine the outcome you desire. That's not fantasy. That's not self-deception. That's creation. That's God in you saying, this is the real, this is the truth. Walk in it. Your responsibility is not to figure out the steps. Your responsibility is to occupy the end, to make your home in the state of the answered prayer, to act as though the door has already opened, to speak as though the answer has already arrived, to feel as though the blessing is already upon you. Because it is. The one who walks in this kind of knowing begins to live above the laws of limitation. They are no longer pulled by circumstances or tossed by waves of emotion. They become steady, anchored, radiant. And that radiation draws the miracle closer and closer until it can no longer hide. It must appear. It must take form because it has found a home in consciousness. So ask yourself, are you willing to make space for the miracle? Are you willing to let go of the fear, the doubt, the story that says it can't happen for me? Are you willing to prepare the table, to set the plate, pour the drink and expect the guest to arrive? That's the energy of faith. It doesn't beg. It doesn't wait on confirmation. It moves as though the thing desired is already reality. It sings the song before the victory. It wears the joy before the breakthrough. It walks with peace in the middle of the storm. If you can do that, if you can live from the vibration of the outcome, then nothing can stop what is coming. No resistance, no delay, no force can block what Spirit has already set in motion. You have agreed. You have said yes. And the universe must respond. But do not look to the world for validation. Do not ask others to believe with you. They may not understand. They may not see what you see. But that's all right. They were not given the vision you were. So guard it, protect it, nurture it, water it with praise, speak to it with authority, feed it with joy. Let it grow within you until it becomes more real than anything you see with your eyes. Because here's the secret. Whatever is most real to you rules your world. If luck is more real to you than abundance, then luck will govern your life. If sickness is more real to you than healing, then the body will respond accordingly. But if the miracle is what you dwell in, if the healing is what you imagine, if the abundance is what you feel with every fiber of your being, then your world must reflect that. It is spiritual law. This law does not fail. It cannot lie. It operates with mathematical precision. And it answers to faith, not effort, not struggle, not suffering. Only faith. Faith that assumes, feels, declares, and rests. And rest is key. Many believe they must do more, pray harder, push further. But rest is the highest form of faith. When you rest, you declare, I trust the outcome. I believe it's already done. I no longer strive, because I already have. This rest is not laziness. It is sacred trust. It is knowing that your words were heard the moment they were spoken in belief. That your vision was set in motion the moment you felt it as real. That your miracle was secured the moment you said, yes, this belongs to me. Let that be your posture now. Not one of reaching or pleading, but of receiving. Sit in the vibration of answered prayer. Soak in the feeling of it being done. And let that feeling renew you. Let it heal every wound, silence every doubt, and lift every burden. Because once you touch that vibration, once you know the miracle is real, you become unshakable, unstoppable. You walk with divine confidence. You speak with heavenly authority. You live as one whose prayer has already been answered. And the world will respond. People will show up with offers, opportunities and gifts you could never have orchestrated on your own. The right doors will swing open. The timing will be perfect. The supply will be more than enough. And you will stand in awe. Not because the miracle came, but because deep down you always knew it would. You will say, I saw this in my spirit. I felt this before it appeared. I celebrated this in the silence, and now here it is, just as I believed. And then something even greater will happen. You'll begin to realize the miracle wasn't just about receiving the thing. It was about becoming the one who receives. It was about transforming into a higher version of yourself, one who walks with God consciousness, one who lives by spiritual law, one who manifests from within. You'll no longer fear lack because you've tapped into the source. You'll no longer fear sickness because you've touched divine wholeness. You'll no longer fear the unknown because you know that the miracle lives in you, not out there but in here. This is the power you were born with. This is the gift that has always been yours. And now in this sacred moment you are using it. So keep your eyes fixed on the vision. Keep your mind anchored in the truth. Keep your heart open, expectant and still. Because the miracle is not coming. It has come. It is done. It is yours. And nothing can stop it. And now you begin to see, truly see, not with the eyes in your head, but with the eyes of your spirit. You are no longer looking at the world around you for confirmation. You are looking within. And what you behold within is more real than anything that appears without. You are not waiting for permission. You are not seeking validation. You have moved into the kingdom of awareness, and from that place all things become possible. You are starting to realize that what you once called waiting was never about time at all. It was about consciousness. You were not waiting for the miracle, you were waiting to align with it. And now that you have, it is inevitable. It must come, it must appear, not because you have pleaded for it, but because you have embodied it. Everything obeys this inner law. Everything bends to the shape of your inner assumption. The body responds to the image you hold of it. Money flows to the one who knows they already have. Relationships blossom when love is assumed and not chased. Peace surrounds the one who walks in the knowing that nothing is missing, nothing is broken, and nothing is out of place. And what is this miracle that is about to happen in your life? It is not just the manifestation of a thing. It is the revelation of who you really are. It is the unveiling of the divine in you. It is the moment when what you knew in the dark bursts forth into the light. It is the fulfillment of the word that was spoken within you long ago. The word that you carried like a seed watered with tears, held through silence, nurtured by your faith. Now it blooms. You don't need to strain to see it. You don't need to prove that it's real. The proof is already in your vibration. The evidence is already in your peace. The miracle is here, not just near, but here, because you dared to feel it before you could touch it, because you became it before it appeared. Look back for a moment, not to dwell in the past, but to see how far you've come. Look at the places you thought would break you, the nights you wept, the seasons you endured, the moments when you questioned if you were forgotten. All of that led you here. Every delay was divine. Every detour was alignment in disguise. Every disappointment carved out more room in your soul for the blessing you now carry. You are not who you were. And because of that, what once eluded you can no longer hide. It must find you now. It must come clothed in form, wrapped in divine precision. It will not arrive early or late, but in the exact moment you are ready to hold it. That is the nature of divine manifestation. It arrives in ripeness, and your spirit knows the time. Your spirit has always known that stirring you feel, that inner rising, that deep breath that tells you to relax and rejoice before anything is visibly changed. That is the signal. That is the spiritual announcement that the miracle has matured. The fruit is ripe. The word has become flesh. So live today as one who holds the promise. Speak today as one who has already seen the harvest. Move today as one who is no longer asking, but thanking. Let thanksgiving become your atmosphere. Let praise be the language of your every breath. Because when you live in gratitude for what is, you become a magnet for all that is to come. And let no voice pull you from that place. Let no circumstance confuse your clarity. Let no delay convince you that it is not working. The miracle is always working because you are always creating. Every thought is a creation. Every feeling is a seed. Every assumption is a command. So command wisely. Assume boldly. Feel intentionally. Because the power you carry does not respond to effort. It responds to embodiment. You cannot beg your way into a miracle. You must become the miracle. And as you become it, something deeper begins to happen. You find that the thing you once thought you needed is no longer the source of your joy. You are the source. Your connection with the divine is the treasure. Your alignment with truth is the miracle. Everything else is simply a reflection. And what beautiful reflections will come. The healing that confounds the doctors. The provision that breaks every natural rule. The opportunity that arrives without explanation. The reconciliation that softens even the hardest heart. The peace that surpasses understanding. These are the signs that follow those who believe. Not because they chase them, but because they carry the vibration that calls them forth. You do not chase miracles. You radiate them. You walk into rooms and shift the energy, not because you're trying, but because you're aligned. You speak words that unlock hearts, not because you rehearse them, but because you're flowing. You draw resources, favor, and kindness, not because you demanded it, but because you've become a vibrational match for it. And when people ask how it happened, how everything changed, how the breakthrough came, how the season turned, you'll smile and say, "It began the moment I chose to believe, without seeing. It began the moment I stopped asking and started receiving. It began the moment I realized I already had what I was searching for. There is no striving in this place, no stress, no performance, only presence, only knowing, only trust. You are no longer waiting, you are walking. You are no longer hoping, you are holding. You are no longer desiring, you are dwelling." This is the fulfillment of the promise. Not just the outer result, but the inner transformation. You have become the one who lives by faith, the one who commands without fear, the one who creates with peace, the one who no longer begs for miracles because you know you are the miracle. And that knowing changes everything. It changes the way you speak to yourself. No more harshness, no more shame, only honor, only love, only compassion for the journey you walked and the becoming that's unfolding. It changes the way you relate to others. No more comparison, no more grasping. You're not in competition, you're in creation. You bless others because you know their gain is not your loss. There is more than enough for all. It changes the way you walk through this world. You don't rush, you don't panic. You don't doubt. You carry yourself with quiet power, with holy confidence, because you know the same God that created the stars dwells in me. The same Spirit that raises the dead is at work in my life. The same power that spoke the world into being is speaking through me. This is not arrogance. It is agreement. You are no longer arguing with your divinity. You are no longer resisting your inheritance. You are no longer postponing your breakthrough. You have accepted it, embodied it, declared it. And the world must yield. The earth responds to the consciousness that owns itself. Mountains move for the one who believes they already have. Time bends, laws shift, nature aligns. Everything conspires to support the soul that says with full authority, "It is done. The miracle is mine. I walk in it now." So walk tall, walk bold, walk free. Not because something is coming, but because something has already come. The miracle is not ahead of you, it's inside of you. And because you carry it, everywhere you go becomes holy ground. Let this truth echo through your being. The miracle has begun. The shift is here. The new has arrived. And I am the living evidence. Let it echo. Let it fill every corner of your soul. Let it rise like a wave and carry you into the life that has always been yours. Not a life of lack or fear or limitation, but a life of glory, grace, and divine power. You are not waiting for a miracle anymore. You are walking in it. And so now, beloved, you stand at the edge of the unseen, not as one who fears the unknown, but as one who knows that the invisible is more real than the visible, that the miracle is not a future event, but a present reality unfolding in perfect time. Let your heart rest, let your spirit rejoice, let your words align with what has already been done. You are not a seeker, you are a revealer. You are not chasing favor, you are favored. You are not hoping for breakthrough, you are the breakthrough. The miracle has chosen you, not because of your striving, but because of your alignment. Not because of your works, but because of your willingness to believe. So move forward with boldness, with joy, with unshakable peace, knowing that the shift has happened, the promise is fulfilled, and the life you once dreamed of is now the life you walk in. it is done. And it is glorious. There comes a time in life when the voice of God speaks so clearly that to ignore it is to invite suffering. You feel the weight in your heart, the whisper in your soul, the quiet yet firm pull that tells you it is time to let them go. And yet you resist. You hold on, gripping so tightly to what once was, afraid that if you release, you will lose a part of yourself. But hear this, what is truly yours by divine right can never be taken away, and what is not meant for you will only bring delay, stagnation, and pain. God does not take from you to punish you, He removes to align you. There are relationships that have served their purpose, seasons that have completed their course, and people who were never meant to stay. But the human heart clings, not realizing that what it grasps onto so desperately is the very thing blocking its blessing. You must trust that what leaves is making room for something greater, something divinely appointed, something that will elevate you beyond your current comprehension. It is not your duty to beg for someone to see your worth. It is not your calling to convince someone to stay. When God shows you who people are, believe Him the first time. Do not rewrite the script. Do not try to turn a goodbye into a pause. When the signs are clear, when the actions do not align with love, when the energy shifts, trust that the chapter is ending for a reason. Your resistance does not change the will of God. It only prolongs the lesson. Many fear that in letting go, they will be left with nothing, but that is an illusion. The void that follows is not emptiness. It is sacred space. It is where healing happens, where revelation occurs, where new blessings are planted. If you hold on to a door that God has closed, you miss the one He is waiting to open. You cannot walk into your divine future while dragging the weight of your past. Release with grace. Walk away with faith. Letting go is not loss, it is alignment. The pain of separation is temporary, but the peace of obedience is eternal. You may not understand it now, but there will come a day when you look back and see the divine orchestration. You will see how every removal was protection, how every ending was a beginning, how every goodbye was a whispered blessing. Let them go, move forward. God has something far greater ahead. There is a moment when the soul recognizes what the heart refuses to accept. That moment when God whispers, or sometimes even shouts, that it is time to walk away. Yet the human spirit, in its longing for familiarity, resists. It rationalizes, it hopes, it prays for things to be different, for people to change, for the situation to align with our desires. But God, in His infinite wisdom, sees beyond what we can see. He knows what is weighing us down, what is hindering our purpose, what is keeping us from the life He has designed for us. And so He begins to strip away what no longer serves us, what no longer feeds our spirit, what no longer aligns with our destiny. At first it feels like loss. It feels like punishment. The void left behind seems unbearable, like a wound that refuses to heal. But what if this pain is not a curse, but a blessing in disguise? What if this separation is not rejection, but redirection? What if God is preparing you for something greater, something that requires you to be free, unburdened, and fully aligned with His will? The discomfort you feel is not meant to break you, but to break you open, to release the chains of attachment, to shatter the illusions that have kept you bound, to awaken you to the divine truth that you are meant for more. You must understand that not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. Some people come as lessons, some as tests, some as stepping stones to guide you to the next level. And when their time is up, holding on to them will only cause suffering. The mistake many make is confusing longevity with destiny. Just because someone has been in your life for years does not mean they are meant to be in your future. Some relationships are for a season, some friendships are for a chapter, and some connections are meant to dissolve so that you can step fully into who you are meant to be. God has seen the private battles you have fought. He has heard the silent cries, the prayers whispered in the dark, the moments when your heart ached for love that was not returned, for loyalty that was betrayed, for understanding that never came. He knows the weight you have carried, the exhaustion of trying to hold together what was already falling apart. And so he steps in, not because he wants you to suffer, but because he wants you to heal. He wants you to stop chasing what is running away, to stop watering what is already dead, to stop clinging to what no longer belongs to you. Letting go is not easy. The mind will replay memories, will remind you of the good times, will whisper fears of loneliness, of regret, of the unknown. But you must silence those voices and tune into a greater truth. Anything that requires you to beg, to shrink, to lose yourself in order to keep it, is not from God. Anything that drains your spirit, that disrupts your peace, that pulls you away from your purpose, is not meant for you. God does not call you into suffering. He calls you into peace, into joy, into fulfillment. And sometimes the only way to receive those blessings is to release the things that are blocking them. The human heart, in its desire for love and belonging, often settles. It holds on to toxic relationships out of fear, fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of not finding better. But God never removes without replacing. He never asks you to let go without having something greater in store. The problem is that many refuse to trust the process. They hold on to the old because they do not yet see the new. But faith is trusting in what is unseen. Faith is walking away even when you do not know what comes next. Faith is believing that if God is telling you to release, it is because He has already prepared something better for you. The enemy will try to convince you otherwise. He will use your emotions against you, will fill your mind with doubts, will make you question your worth, your decisions, your future. But you must stand firm. You must remind yourself that you are not being abandoned, you are being elevated. That what is leaving your life is not a loss, but a necessary shift. That every ending is a divine setup for something greater. It is not your responsibility to make someone see your value. It is not your job to prove your worth to those who do not recognize it. You are a child of God, and anyone who cannot see the light within you is not meant to walk this journey with you. Stop fighting for a place in the lives of those who do not fight for you. Stop giving your energy to those who only take and never pour back into you. Stop seeking love in places where love does not truly exist. You deserve to be surrounded by those who uplift you, who cherish you, who see the beauty in you without you having to constantly prove it. And if someone cannot do that, then they are not your people. If someone does not appreciate your presence, then they should not have access to you. If someone repeatedly shows you through their actions that they do not value you, then you must believe them and walk away. God is not just calling you to let them go. He is calling you to heal, to rise, to step into a new level of faith, to trust that what He has for you is far greater than anything you are leaving behind, to believe that the love, the joy, the peace you seek is already on its way to you. But it cannot reach you if you are still holding on to what is not meant for you. The growth requires separation, transformation requires release. Evolution requires shedding the old so that the new can emerge. And this process, though painful, is necessary. You may not see it now, but one day you will look back and understand why things had to happen the way they did. You will see how every closed door led you to something better, how every goodbye was a redirection toward something greater, how every loss was actually a gain, But you do not have to wait for hindsight to trust God's plan. You can choose to trust it now. You can choose to surrender. You can choose to release with grace, to walk away with faith, to step into your future with confidence, knowing that you are divinely guided, divinely protected, divinely loved. God is telling you to let them go, not because He wants to hurt you, but because He wants to heal you. Not because He wants to take from you, but because He wants to give to you. Not because He is punishing you, but because He is preparing you for something far beyond what you can imagine. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are being led. Trust the process. Let go. Move forward. Something far greater is waiting for you. You are standing at the edge of something new, something unseen, something greater than what you have known. Yet your heart hesitates. It clings to what is familiar, even when that familiarity has brought nothing but pain. There is a divine whisper within you, a knowing so deep that it cannot be ignored. It is God's voice, guiding you, urging you, reminding you that what you are holding on to is no longer meant for you. And yet you resist. You bargain with God, asking Him to change the situation, to fix what is broken, to make them stay. But God does not operate through force. He operates through alignment. And when something is no longer in alignment with your purpose, He will remove it, not to hurt you, but to heal you. You were not meant to live in a state of attachment to what drains you. You were not created to suffer under the weight of relationships that no longer serve your highest good. Yet so often people stay where they do not belong out of fear, out of obligation, out of the false belief that letting go means failure. But what if letting go is not an ending, but a beginning? What if it is the very act that sets you free, that allows you to finally breathe, that opens the doors to blessings you have not yet imagined? What if this separation is not rejection, but protection? God does not ask you to release without purpose. He does not ask you to walk away without having already prepared a new path for you. But the challenge is trusting what you cannot yet see, believing in what has not yet manifested, knowing that the very thing you are afraid to let go of is what is standing between you and your next level. You cannot receive what is meant for you if your hands are still full of what no longer belongs to you. You cannot step into your future while dragging the past behind you. The weight is too heavy. The burden is not yours to carry. And yet you hold on. Letting go does not mean you did not love them. It does not mean you did not try. It does not mean you failed. It means you are choosing yourself. It means you are honoring the voice within you that says, I deserve more. It means you are trusting God enough to follow where He leads, even when the path is unclear. And though your heart may break, though tears may fall, though the nights may be long and lonely, there will come a day when you understand why things had to happen this way. There will come a day when you look back and see the divine orchestration, how every loss was actually a gain, how every closed door was leading you to something better, how every goodbye was making space for the right people to enter your life. You do not need to force what is meant to be. Love, respect, and true connection do not require begging, chasing, or compromising your worth. If someone cannot see the value of your presence, they do not deserve a place in your future. If someone repeatedly chooses to hurt you, to disregard you, to make you feel unworthy, that is your sign. That is your answer. And no matter how much you love them, no matter how much history you share, you must love yourself enough to walk away. People will show you who they are through their actions. Believe them. Do not rewrite the story. Do not create excuses for behavior that does not align with love. If they wanted to stay, they would. If they truly valued you, they would show it. If they were meant to be a part of your future, God would not be asking you to release them. Holding onto something God is trying to remove will only cause you more pain. It will delay your blessings. It will block what is truly meant for you. And the longer you resist, the harder the lesson will become. You have already seen the signs. The energy has shifted. The connection is not the same. The conversations are forced. The love that once felt effortless now feels like a battle. You keep trying, keep hoping, keep praying that things will go back to the way they were. But they won't. Because God is calling you higher. He is calling you out of spaces that no longer nurture your soul. He is calling you into a season of healing, of renewal, of divine transformation. And in order to receive it, you must be willing to let go of everything that is no longer serving you. The pain of release is temporary. The peace that follows is eternal. But you must be brave enough to trust that what is ahead is greater than what is behind. You must believe that God's plan for you is far beyond what you can imagine. He sees the road ahead. He knows what is waiting for you, and He is asking you to trust Him, even when it feels like you are walking into the unknown. What if the love you have been praying for is waiting just beyond this chapter? What if the peace you have been longing for is on the other side of this release? What if the very thing you are afraid to lose is what is keeping you from your breakthrough? God does not take without purpose. He does not remove without replacing. But He needs you to surrender. He needs you to trust that His plan is greater than your attachment. You are being set free. You are being prepared for something greater. The people who could not see your worth, the ones who took your love for granted, the ones who could not appreciate the light within you, they were never meant to stay. They were a part of your journey, but not your destination. And though it hurts, though it feels like you are losing something precious, know that you are actually gaining everything. You are gaining yourself, your peace, your purpose, your divine alignment. The love you truly deserve will not require you to suffer. The relationships meant for you will not bring confusion, inconsistency, or pain. God is not the author of chaos. He is the author of clarity. And when something is truly meant for you, it will flow, it will be effortless, it will feel like home. So if you are struggling, if you are in turmoil, if your heart is heavy with uncertainty, that is your answer. That is your sign that you are holding on to something that is not meant for you. It is time to let go, to release the fear, to trust in what is unseen, to walk forward with faith, knowing that you are being divinely guided. You may not see it now, but one day you will thank God for removing what was never meant to stay. One day you will understand that every tear, every goodbye, every loss was actually a blessing in disguise. One day you will look back and realize that God was not taking from you, He was saving you. You are being called to something greater. You are being prepared for something divine. Do not let fear keep you from your destiny. Let go. Move forward. Trust the process. God has already gone before you. The best is yet to come. There comes a moment when you must decide. Do you stay in a place where you are merely tolerated, or do you walk forward into the life where you are fully embraced? This is the moment of surrender, the moment where God is speaking directly to your heart, asking you to trust Him, to believe in what He has prepared for you, even though you cannot see it yet. And yet fear grips you. The unknown seems vast, uncharted, unfamiliar. You want to hold on, to cling to what you have known, to keep fighting for something that God has already declared finished. But no matter how tightly you grip, no matter how much you try to hold the pieces together, you feel it slipping away. And deep down you know you were never meant to stay here. God never removes without reason. He never asks you to let go without already having something greater prepared. But the human heart resists change. It fights against discomfort. It wants certainty, assurance, a clear sign that what is ahead is better than what is behind. But faith does not work that way. Faith asks you to step out while you are still afraid. Faith asks you to trust in the unseen. Faith asks you to believe that the same God who created you has not forgotten you, has not abandoned you, and will never lead you into emptiness. You are being redirected, repositioned, renewed. What once felt like rejection is actually divine protection. What seemed like loss is actually gain. You are being emptied of what is no longer serving you so that you may be filled with what is divinely meant for you. But until you let go, until you surrender, you cannot receive it. You cannot grasp the future while your hands are still full of the past. You cannot embrace what is meant for you while you are still mourning what was never truly yours. You saw the signs, you felt the shift, you knew long before this moment that something was not right, the energy was different, the words stopped matching the actions. The love that once felt like a sanctuary became something that brought more pain than peace. And still you held on, hoping, praying, waiting for things to change. But they did not, because God was calling you out. Because He was showing you that you deserve more. Because He was showing you that you deserve more. Because He was preparing you for something far greater than you ever imagined. People often stay in places where their soul no longer belongs because they fear being alone. They fear the emptiness, the silence, the uncertainty. But what if the solitude is not punishment, but preparation? What if the quiet is not loneliness, but a sacred space where God is trying to speak to you, trying to heal you, trying to realign you with your true purpose? What if this is not the end, but the beginning of something so divine, so beautiful, so life-changing, that you will one day look back and weep with gratitude that you had the courage to walk away? Letting go does not mean forgetting. It does not mean that the love you had was not real, that the moments you shared were not meaningful, that the connection was not significant. It means you are releasing the attachment to something that is no longer aligned with your destiny. It means you are choosing yourself. It means you are saying, God, I trust you. Even though this hurts, even though I don't understand, even though my heart is breaking, I trust that what you have for me is greater than what I am leaving behind. There is a version of you waiting on the other side of this, a version of you that is whole, a version of you that is healed, a version of you that no longer settles for less than what God has intended. But you must walk through the fire to become that version. You must be willing to feel the grief, to sit with the discomfort, to trust that even in the pain God is working. And though it may not make sense now, though the tears may feel endless, though the nights may seem unbearably long, there will come a day when you understand. There will come a day when you look back and see how every closed door, every goodbye, every painful ending was necessary for your transformation. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. You are not being abandoned. You are being set free. But the choice is yours. Will you stay where you no longer belong, or will you trust God enough to move forward? Will you keep begging for something that is not meant for you, or will you surrender to the divine plan that has already been written for your life? The world will tell you that holding on is strength, that fighting for something is what makes you worthy. But true strength is knowing when to walk away. True faith is trusting even when you cannot see. True courage is saying, God, I release this. I surrender this. I will not chase, I will not beg, I will not hold on to something you have already removed from my life. And in that surrender, something shifts. The weight lifts. The anxiety fades. The pain, though still present, no longer controls you. Because in that moment, you remember who you are. You remember whose you are. You remember that you were never meant to suffer for love, never meant to chase what is meant to stay, never meant to live in a state of fear, of uncertainty, of desperation. What God has for you is already yours. The love that is meant for you will not require you to lose yourself. The purpose that is meant for you will not bring confusion. The blessings that are meant for you will not feel like a battle. When something is divinely aligned, it flows. It does not force. It does not require you to beg, to chase, to break yourself into pieces just to make it fit. So this is your moment to choose faith over fear, your moment to let go of what no longer serves you, your moment to step into the fullness of what God has been preparing for you all along. It may not feel easy. It may not make sense. But one day, when you are standing in the middle of the life you once prayed for, you will understand why they had to happen. You will understand why God whispered to your soul, "Let them go. I have something greater for you." And when that day comes, you will not mourn what was lost. You will rejoice in what was found, because you will finally see that every ending was really a beginning, that every closed door was leading you somewhere divine, that every painful goodbye was God's way of setting you free. There is a version of you that exists beyond this heartbreak, beyond this moment of pain, beyond the attachment that has kept you bound. You may not see it yet, but it is there, waiting for you to embrace it, to step into it, to claim it as your own. But first, you must let go. You must release what is no longer serving your highest good. You must trust that God is not taking something away from you to harm you, but to heal you. So often we resist the very things that are meant to free us. We hold on because we are afraid to start over. We cling to relationships that drain us, to situations that break us, to cycles that leave us empty. And we wonder why we feel lost, why we feel unfulfilled, why we feel like no matter how much we try, nothing changes. The truth is, nothing changes because we refuse to change. We refuse to let go. We refuse to trust the process of divine alignment. There is something powerful about surrender. When you stop forcing, stop chasing, stop trying to control what was never yours to control, you make space for miracles. You make space for the love that is meant to find you. You make space for the peace that is meant to fill you. You make space for the purpose that is calling your name. But when your hands are clenched, when your heart is holding on to what is already gone, you block the very blessings that are trying to reach you. God knows what is best for you. He sees beyond what you can see. You may be looking at this moment through the lens of loss, but God sees the victory that is unfolding. You may think you are losing something, but in reality, you are gaining clarity. You are gaining freedom. You are gaining the opportunity to realign with your destiny. And what a gift that is. To be redirected, to be positioned, to be prepared for something greater. This pain is temporary. This heartbreak will not define you. This season of letting go is not the end of your story. It is merely the chapter where you learn what true faith looks like. Faith is not believing when everything is going well. Faith is trusting when everything is falling apart. Faith is standing in the middle of uncertainty and declaring that you are still blessed, still favored, still chosen by God. You were never meant to live in struggle. You were never meant to force love. You were never meant to beg for attention, for validation, for someone to see your worth. You are already worthy. You are already loved. You are already whole. And the moment you recognize that, the moment you stop seeking outside of yourself for something that only God can give, you will feel the weight lift. You will feel the peace enter. You will feel the shift in your spirit that tells you, this is where you are meant to be. Not everyone is meant to stay. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into the next chapter, and that is okay. It does not mean they were not important. It does not mean they were not a part of your journey. It simply means their role in your story has ended. And just like a book, you cannot keep rereading the same chapter and expect to move forward. You must turn the page. You must trust that the story ahead is worth reading, worth experiencing, worth embracing with an open heart. You may feel like you are walking away empty-handed, but you are not. You are walking away with wisdom. You are walking away with strength. You are walking away with the lesson that not everything is meant to be held on to. And in that lesson, there is power. Power to create a new life. Power to love yourself more deeply. Power to walk with confidence. Knowing that what is meant for you will never require you to betray yourself in order to keep it. It is time to release. It is time to breathe again. It is time to believe that the best is not behind you but ahead of you. The past served its purpose. It taught you what you needed to learn. But now it is time to move forward with grace, with trust, with the unwavering faith that you are being guided to something far greater than anything you are leaving behind. One day, you will look back at this moment and smile, You will see how every loss was actually a gain. You will understand why certain doors had to close. You will realize that what you thought was a setback was actually a setup for something divine. And in that moment, you will not mourn what you lost. You will celebrate what you found. Yourself, your strength, your unshakable faith, and most importantly, the life God always intended for you, and the life God always intended for you. There is a divine order to all things, and what seems like an ending is merely a transition. You have spent so much energy trying to hold on, believing that if you just do more, give more, sacrifice more, things will change. But deep in your heart, you know the truth. You know that God has been whispering to you, nudging you, sending you signs that it is time to move on. Yet fear has kept you in place. Fear of the unknown. Fear of being alone. Fear of walking away from what feels familiar. But familiarity does not always mean destiny. Just because something has been a part of your life does not mean it was meant to last forever. You were created for more than struggle. You were created for more than begging for love, for attention, for someone to choose you. You were chosen before the foundation of the world. You were set apart for something greater. Yet you have been settling for less because you do not fully believe in your worth. God is telling you now, let go, not because you are being punished, but because you are being prepared for something better. Growth is painful, change is uncomfortable, but stagnation is far worse. How many nights have you cried out, asking for a sign? How many times have you prayed for clarity, for strength, for direction? And yet when the answer comes, you resist it. You rationalize staying. You justify the suffering. But God does not call you to remain in places where your spirit is suffocated. He calls you to life, to abundance, to freedom. And that freedom begins with a single act of faith, the courage to walk away. Everything in your life is unfolding exactly as it should. You may not understand it now. It may not make sense in this moment. But trust that there is a greater picture, a higher purpose. The things you thought you needed, the people you thought would be with you forever, if they are being removed, it is because they have fulfilled their role in your story. To try to hold on is to resist divine alignment. And when you resist, you prolong your suffering. The moment you surrender, the moment you say, God, I trust you, a weight will lift. The burden you have carried will begin to fade. The sleepless nights, the racing thoughts, the anxiety of trying to make something work that was never meant to, those will be replaced with a peace that surpasses all understanding. That is what happens when you stop trying to force what is already finished. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is not giving up. Letting go is stepping into alignment. It is an act of faith. It is declaring that you trust God's plan more than your own desires. It is choosing yourself, your peace, your future over the comfort of what is familiar but no longer fulfilling. You have outgrown this place, you have outgrown this version of yourself, and now you must make the decision to rise, to step into the unknown, to embrace the discomfort, to trust that even though you cannot see the whole path, the next step will always be revealed. The same God who brought you this far will not abandon you now. The same God who opened doors in the past will open new ones. But first you must close the ones that are no longer meant for you. One day you will look back and realize that this moment, this painful, difficult moment, was the beginning of everything you prayed for. The breakthrough you've been seeking is on the other side of your obedience. The life you have been longing for begins the moment you choose to let go. And when you finally step into that new reality, you will not regret the things you left behind. You will only wonder why you waited so long. You may feel the weight of this moment pressing against your soul, the pain of separation lingering in your heart, the uncertainty of the future causing fear to rise within you. But what if you knew, deep down, that this very moment of release is what will lead you to the greatest transformation of your life? What if you understood that letting go is not an act of weakness, but an act of ultimate faith? What if you realized that everything that is leading you is only making space for something far greater? The human heart clings to what is familiar, even when familiarity brings suffering. You have prayed for change, but are you willing to accept the way change comes? You have asked for elevation, but are you prepared to leave behind what weighs you down? You have sought peace, but are you ready to walk away from what disturbs your spirit? Too often the answers to our prayers come disguised as endings, as disappointments, as separations that feel unbearable. But what if this is not the end at all? What if this is the divine redirection you have been waiting for? Every great transformation begins with release. A seed does not become a tree without first breaking open. A caterpillar does not become a butterfly without leaving behind its cocoon. And you will not become who you are meant to be without shedding the past that has kept you bound. You cannot hold on to what is comfortable and step into your destiny at the same time. One must be sacrificed for the other. And God is asking you now, which will you choose? Will you choose the known pain of the past or the unknown promise of your future? You have stayed in this place for too long. You have tried to make it work. You have given your all. But now God is calling you higher. And if you ignore the call, if you refuse to move, if you keep holding on, you will only delay the blessings that are waiting for you. The longer you resist, the more painful the lesson becomes. The longer you hold on, the more you drain your own spirit. But the moment you decide to trust, to surrender, to finally let go, you will feel the shift. You will feel the weight lift. You will realize that what you thought you needed was only keeping you small. Your life was never meant to be lived in struggle. Your heart was never meant to carry this much sorrow. Your spirit was never meant to shrink in order to fit into places where you were never truly seen. The moment you accept that, the moment you stop settling, you will understand that you are not losing, you are being set free. Free from expectations that were never yours to meet. Free from relationships that drained you instead of filled you. Free from cycles of disappointment that kept you trapped in the past. God has something better for you. He has joy for you. He has love for you. He has a life so abundant, so fulfilling, so peaceful that the moment you step into it, you will look back at this moment of letting go and realize it was the greatest gift you ever received. But you must trust. You must take the step. You must believe that what is leaving your life is not a loss, but a blessing in disguise. You were never meant to beg for love. You were never meant to prove your worth to people who refuse to see it. You were never meant to keep holding on to something that is already gone. When God closes a door, it is not your job to stand there knocking. When He removes something from your life, it is not your place to chase after it. What is meant for you will not require force. What is meant for you will not require you to break yourself in order to keep it. You may not understand it now, but one day you will. One day you will wake up and the pain will no longer be there. One day you will realize that everything you thought you lost was replaced with something better. One day you will see that the heartbreak was actually healing. The rejection was actually protection. The loss was actually gain. And in that moment you will be grateful that you had the courage to let go. You are stepping into a new season, a season of restoration, a season of clarity, a season where everything that is meant for you will come effortlessly, without force, without struggle, without you having to fight for it. Because that is how God works. He does not bring confusion. He does not bring pain without purpose. He does not take something away unless He is preparing you for something greater. Trust that greater is coming. Trust that peace is on the other side of this pain. Trust that one day you will look back at this very moment and realize that this was the day you reclaimed your power. This was the day you chose yourself. This was the day you finally let go and made space for the life God always had waiting for you. One day you will look back at this moment and realize it was the turning point. The moment you chose faith over fear, peace over pain, and destiny over familiarity. What felt like loss was actually grace. What seemed like an ending was the beginning of something greater. You were never abandoned. You were being guided. You were never forgotten. You were being prepared. Trust that what is ahead is far greater than what you are leaving behind. Walk forward with courage, knowing that when you let go, you are not falling. You are finally rising.